Matt Moss is no stranger to controversy, and in this clip, he does not disappoint. He goes off over the current state of the MX Nationals and why it takes 6 months to get through 8 rounds of racing, and I'm curious, what do you guys think? Should they condense the MX National Series to get all the races done in a shorter period of time, or should they keep it long? As well as that, he has some choice words for MA at the end of the clip, and it gets spicy around the 5 minute mark, so make sure you tune in to the end and let me know in the comments below. Should they shorten it or lengthen it? Enjoy the clip, and thanks for watching.
I think that's why there's such a big difference between like the top few pros in Australia and then the guys at work. It's like a massive gap.
Yeah. Oh
And
well.
it's just comes down to
I'm
like
glad
the
you. I'm
times.
glad you. I'm glad you brought that up actually, because like obviously everyone knows I'm not racing motocross this year. I'd love to, 100%, but it's not. Obviously, you can't afford it, and these privateers are that far behind these pro guys. Why? Because Motorcycle in Australia and these people running these events have not 8 round series over 7 months or 8 months or 9 months, isn't it? I don't even know how long it is, but it's too long.
Mm.
They're having 5 weeks off. But like I would do it. I would 100% commit. Like you have your 6 weeks school holidays and then put 2 months of hard work in and do 8 rounds over 9 weeks. Like why can't they do that? And I would do motocross and I'd go to work for 4 months and get ready for Supercross. And you'd have everyone line up on the race meet. Like I'd go riding privateer. I'd race motocross privateer if they did that. And I'm guarantee there'd be so many more people, and it would bridge the gap because you go, man, like you can work your ass off for 4 months, save enough money, and go right. I'm going to travel Australia and go from this race to this race to this race, and ride in between, get better, learn from what I did last week. Can't learn from last week because you got 4 or 5 weeks in between a race. Like who? I got me gobsmacked out. The motocross season here is fine for a factory rider. Like cool,
Well, yeah,
because they might
I
get
was trying to
injured.
think why is it structured that way, and I guess there's people that their full-time wage is to race that series. So if the series doesn't last any more than like 2 months, you can't really say that
But
that's a
why?
year's worth of work.
But why they
Yeah,
do? But they do Supercross like that, and I'm a Supercross rider. That's my wage.
it's very true. It's very true. Why do you think they do that? Why is it?
Supercross because it keeps the hype in it.
No, no,
Like no one can
no,
follow a
sorry,
sport.
motocross. Why is it
I don't
such
know,
a long period?
but no one follows motocross. That I don't want to say no one follows. It's probably the wrong topic. But people lose interest in the motocross because you got 5 weeks off.
I
Why?
totally agree with that. Yeah, for
Why?
sure.
Why? Why does we as Australians, like obviously Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, and the Australian people over there? I'll even throw in the New Zealander, Cole Davies. We're
Oh,
we're
Davies,
all
yeah.
rooting for them people, but it gives us. We know we're going to get that every single weekend. Like it gives you something. Like I'm pumped on Monday. Talk about it. Pumped on Tuesday. I'm like, wait, it's Wednesday. The racing's coming up. In Australia, you got one race and then 5 weeks off. Who can, like,
Yeah.
who can follow it? No one's
It's
going to
pretty hard
follow
to
it.
get
Like,
invested in something that's like so spread out and far away.
yeah, like I got a personal sponsor, Sterling Concrete, and who I work for as well. Like, who gives me my work, and he's at Abbott loves motorsport, loves motocross, loves supercross, like buys every bike, every new bike, all the new gear, all like I mean, just loves it. Like he's passionate about it. But he says, how do you, I can't follow it. How do you follow it? Like, they follow a footy team because they're not going to play each weekend. They've got something to look forward to. Man, smash it over 9 weeks, boom, done. Get ready for
Yeah, have your on season, off season. Yeah, I just had a memory. You mentioned that when I had it was 2013. Red Bull Australia approached me, and he come to. I was doing a bit of work with him, going backwards and forwards. I was in like part of the athlete development pool, so it wasn't fully sponsored. They had a budget to help me out,
Yeah.
and they were looking at investing in two-wheel motorsports. So they had Toby Price and then myself. And the guy came to Appen MX National. I think it was 2014, and he literally looked me in the face and he said straight up, "I just don't see the value." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Well, one, I don't know what's going on," and he said, "Two, it just doesn't like have that big event type of like the series. It's hit and miss. It's hard to follow," and that was a real bummer because I love the sport, and it was like that was like a big tear. And forget me, it's not about me, but he basically said like, "I don't see the value. It doesn't. I can't understand what was going on." And yeah, I don't know. That was a bummer.
Yeah, but I feel like the hype behind motocross and like not saying I'm going to bring people to the event, but if you have someone like you look at Medi, like he's a amazing rider, national in it like in a country like in America and come back here and race
Nuts.
and like for him to, you know, he's an older guy. For him to maintain that for a motocross season, you put him over 9 weeks, he could, and then go live a normal life and, work. It gives people the opportunity to, like, I know Gibbs is a motocross only guy, but he could go and do this and then go start a business in his off time. Like, it actually helps the riders more than they would ever know, because they've got too much time to sit around. They can go get a job or go figure out normal life. I wish I wish it was like that, man. I would race next year. If they made it next year, I'll say it now. I'll put my own money where it is, and I'd go privateer and I'd race motocross if they had 8 rounds over 9 weeks, even over 10 weeks, have a 2-week gap off. But if, like, me and my wife as a family, we could nearly afford that and go, right, we're going to knuckle down. Once this is finished, we're going to knuckle down and work. Like, my wife obviously works her ass off anyway, but I would commit that to her, show her 100% commitment, and go, like, let's go do this. Let's travel Australia, wherever the races are, get in our caravan, go race this. And then once it's finished, we'll go to work, because Supercross doesn't start for another 5 months. And I'd be
Yeah, for sure. And
I'm sure heaps of people would do the exact same.
yeah, I mean, like, I was going to race Supercross last year, and I purely picked Supercross because just, like, logistically, financially, mentally, it was so much easier to think, like, I'm going to dedicate this 2 months of the year to Supercross.
Well, it's done.
It's easy.
2 months.
Boom, it's done. And then, like, that's it. Like, I can do it properly. It makes more sense. It's like, it's so much more structured and easy. The thought of doing motocross, like, I'd love to do 1 or 2 rounds here and there, but to take on a full series, it's like, well, now you're taking up the whole year, basically, because you need 6 months to save or do whatever you do. You need 3 months to train at the minimum. And then you're racing for your, 6 months, is it? Thereabouts. And then you're into the next year again.
I think, I'm pretty sure, it's like 5 months. 5 months for 8 rounds.
February till September. Someone do the math on that. Yeah. But anyway, we sound like 2 grumpy old bastards, but it's good to it's good to say the truth, because a ton of people agree with you, and it's sort of been that way for a long time. So I don't know why things don't change.
I don't know why.
There's no discussion for it anyway.
MA, change it. Why not? Why the fucking...
Dude, them
Motorcycling Australia don't have to pay all these guys from Motorcycling Australia $600,000 a year to do what they do, because we can get it done in 9 months. We can save the money and give it back to the buy more tracks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Let's do that.
Totally agree.